Okay, so yesterday we worked on adding the polynomials. Today we're going to do subtracting. Directions are still going to be the same. Directions are still going to be the same. So let's go ahead and scratch out that first one. And we're going to renumber these. I need to fix this for next year. 1, 2. So what does it mean to distribute?
To execute.
Thank you. You just said that on video. Aiden, whatever you and Eduardo are talking about, y'all are saying that on video. Multiply. And what does it mean to combine? Or subtract. First you multiply, then you add or subtract. Same exact rules as yesterday. Now, today we are focusing on subtracting these polynomials. So what is the biggest difference in the examples that we did yesterday and the one you see right here, example 1?
It has a minus in the middle of the parentheses.
It has a minus in between your polynomials, in between your, how many terms do we have here?
2.
So this is considered a,
Binomial.
so we're subtracting two binomials. Binomial, binomial, subtracting, the difference between two binomials. Now, when we actually do combine these terms, what are we actually adding and subtracting? We're adding and subtracting what part of it? What part of the term? What part of the term are we adding or subtracting? Correct, the coefficient. The coefficient, okay? We're adding or subtracting the coefficient. So before we distribute, the first thing we want to do is put a what in front of these groups of parentheses. We're going to put a 1. I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to put a 1 here. I'm going to put a 1 there. So let's multiply. 1 times 4a is, and 1 times -5, -5. Now, this is where I said it would be slightly different from what we did yesterday. Here, if you look at this new number in between, it's not just a 1, it's a what? It's a -1. So when we distribute a -1, essentially, what does that do to every term?
And it turns into a positive.
Or
A negative.
it changes the sign on the term. So here, -1 times a -7a gives me
Positive 7.
positive 7a, and -1 times a positive 5.
-5.
So that's why it's always important that you look at that sign in between the parentheses. Because if it's a plus sign, nothing changes. But if it's a minus sign, it's going to change the sign on every term in the second group. It doesn't change anything in the first, but it does change the second group. Now let's group these together. Let's combine. What can I combine with 4a? 7a. And now am I adding or am I subtracting that 7a?
Adding.
4a plus 7a, and that gives me
11a.
okay. Now be careful with this next one. I'm going to combine -5 with -5 minus 5 gives me
-10.
correct. Now, even though I addressed this yesterday, some of us were still not doing that correctly. Remember, when you use this, you can type it, you can use both of these as negatives. So you would type -5 plus -5 gives you the correct answer. If you know that the negative goes in the front, minus in the middle, middle minus, you get the correct, but never ever put a minus and a negative side by side. That's the one that will give you the incorrect answer. It can cancel out, but in this case, in this problem, it doesn't. So let's combine, let's put our answer together. It becomes 11a minus 10. Oh, I meant to get a box. Okay, there's my final answer there. Questions? Same rules, just slightly different. All right. How many terms do we have here in each one?
2, 3. Oh,
3, making this a what?
Polynomial.
Trinomial, tri. So let's go ahead and put our ones. And let's distribute. 1 times 9y is still 9y. 1 times negative 7x stays as negative 7x. 1 times 15a, 15a. Here's where it changes up because I have a negative 1 instead of a plus 1. Negative 1 times negative 3y gives me
Positive 3y.
negative 1 times positive 8,
X.
and negative 1 times negative 8a.
Positive 8a.
Questions? That is the main difference between what we did yesterday and today. Okay? Now we combine just like we did yesterday. 9y combines with 3y. And 9y plus 3y gives me. Okay. Negative 7x combines with. Okay. Negative 7x minus 8x or plus negative 8x gives me. And last, 15a combines with. And what is 15a plus 8a? Correct. Put your answer at the end. One thing I did notice that some people are missing, you don't have plus or minus signs separating. If it's a positive number, make sure you have a plus sign separating the term. It doesn't make sense to have 12y, 15x, 23a. I need to have those 3 separate terms to make it a trinomial. Got it? If there's no plus or minus separating it, you're representing multiplication. All right, example 3. What are we subtracting? 2 what? Mono, bi, tri, poly?
2 trinomials.
Trinomials. There's still 3 terms in each. Go ahead and put your 1 and let's distribute. So 1 times 3x squared, 3x squared. It's a positive 1. It's not going to change anything. Plus 5xy minus 2y squared. But when I take that negative 1, Angel, and I multiply it by 4x squared, what do I get? Negative 4x squared. Negative 1 times negative 8xy. And negative 1 times y squared. Questions? Always be careful with that middle one. All right, so 3x squared combines with negative 4x squared. And what's 3x squared minus 4x squared? Okay. 5xy combines with and what is 5xy plus 8xy? 13xy. Does the exponent change? 2 plus 2 is 4? Yes or no? No, exponent does not change. I'm just going back over the rule that the exponent does not change. It will tomorrow because we're going to apply both rules in one lesson. So I just have to go back over that. All right, negative 2y squared combines with negative 1y squared, negative 2y squared minus 1y squared. Make sure you type that in correctly. And what do you get? Negative 3y squared. Do I have any questions? So my final answer is not negative 4. Do I have to include the coefficient of 1?
No.
No, I can technically leave it as negative x squared plus 13xy minus 3y squared. Yes, you can. They will not put the 1 on the STAR test, but you'll be able to recognize it. I'm fairly confident you will. Glue this into page 90. I'm going to give you your assignment, and then I'm also going to work one of those out with you. Go. Now, in order to show you what to do on number 15, is that the triangle one? Yeah, I'm going to give you a quick example here, and it's the one I wrote on the board, but since I'm making a video, I need to show it this way. Boys. So if I gave you the perimeter of 20, I tell you that the long side is 10 and the base is 4. How would we find that third side? First of all, I know that the perimeter of a triangle is what? Perimeter of a triangle, not the sum of all angles. A plus B plus C, all the sides added together. I know that one of the sides is 10. Well, let me just do it this way. Side plus side plus side. We're adding up all the sides. I know the perimeter is how much? 20. Do not write this on number 15 because you have different numbers. I'm just trying to show you how to do it. I know one of the sides is 10. I know another side is 4, but I don't know what that third side is. So what can I do first to try to figure out what that third side is?
Add the 10 to the 4.
Okay, so we can add the 10 and the 4. The 10 plus 4 is 14. Okay. Now to move the 14 back to this side, I would subtract it. Minus 14, it's positive, so I have to subtract. And 20 minus 14 gives me, and we have figured out that third side. We subtracted to find that missing side. So you're going to use the same method to find the third side for number 15 here. So let me get my triangle. It's still giving you a triangle. Let me draw it real quick. Now it says the base is negative 7n squared plus 14 plus 2n. It says the height is what? Y'all are gonna have to read it to me so I don't have to scroll over. 10. What's the height?
10n plus 7 minus 5n squared.
Okay, and what else do they give us?
7, negative 7n squared plus 14 plus 2n.
Okay, I already got that. What else do they give us?
Hypotenuse.
They want, this says, what is the length of the hypotenuse? What is the long side? This long side, this is my unknown. They do give me another measurement
They
though.
already gave you the perimeter.
They gave us the perimeter. They gave us the total. So we're gonna set it up just like we set this one up right here. I start with the perimeter, so I have negative 15n squared plus 18n plus 25. All right, now one of my sides is negative 7n squared plus 14 plus 2n. What is the other side? That's side 1 plus what? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, now a triangle has how many sides? 3. It looks messy, but it's the exact same way. It's set up the exact same way that we just did the other example with regular numbers, okay? So what can I do to find that third side? What did we do first with the 2 sides that we know about? We combine them. So let's figure out what we can combine. What can I combine with negative 7n squared? Negative 5n squared. Okay, what is negative 7n squared minus 5n squared? We're combining negative 7 minus 5n squared. What do we get? Okay, negative 12n squared. Let's see, what else can we combine? What can we combine with 14? A
25.
positive 7.
Oh, yeah,
And what is 14 plus 7?
28. I mean, 23. Yeah,
Now, does everybody know why we're not combining it with the 25? It's on the other side. Thank you. It's still on the other side of the equation, so I can't do anything yet. All right, now what can I combine with 2n? 10n. And what is 2n plus 10n? And we have combined the two sides. We still don't know what that third side is. Is everybody with me? Okay. I'm going to bring the perimeter down, 15n squared. I'm doing this with you, and it's important that you know how to do this problem because you will see something similar on the STAR test. Now, what was the last step that we did? How did we move that those two combined sides back to the other side?
subtracted.
We subtracted. And in this case, because this one is already negative, what do I need to do? Change it to a positive. It'll change to a plus 12n squared. And when I move 12n squared to this side, am I going to line it up under the 15, 18, or 25? Under the 15, because 15 has that n squared with n squared. How do I move the 21 back over? Subtract it. It's positive, so I subtract. And that 21 goes under which number? And last, how do I move 12n? And 12n goes under the 18. Questions? All right. Now notice on this side over here, negative 12 plus 12 gives me 0. That cancels out. 21 minus 21, 0 cancels out. 12 minus 12, 0 also cancels out. All I'm left with is what? The other side, my unknown. So let's combine these over here. Negative 15 plus 12n squared gives me
30n squared. I mean, negative 30n squared.
18 minus 12,
Negative 15. I mean, negative 6. Positive, yes, positive 6.
and 25 minus 21, positive 4. There's my third side. That is what this is equal to, negative 3n squared plus 6n plus 4. We're subtracting, okay? All right, y'all go ahead and do the rest of those. Y'all have plenty of time, so.